Hi, it's Aneta here from Aneta I Yoga Studio and Wellness. How are you today? Just popping in, saying hello, and just checking in with you from my new space, from my home studio. Already working. The classes have already started, some of them last week. The Monday class is starting tonight. And so I wanted to pop in to say hi, and as it is the beginning of the new year, 2019, I've been listening and seeing and reading a lot of stuff around New Year resolutions, about, making it a new start, new you, new year, new beginning. And if you know me, you possibly would know that I'm much more into starting any Monday rather than at the beginning of any year. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about the need for making our yoga practice and our well-being practices sustainable. And this is the major thing, one of the most important things that I learned last year. Last year in January, right at the beginning, I started doing daily Facebook live videos. I started the group Yoga and the Wisdom of Daily Practice, and I absolutely loved it. It was great fun, and I was showing up every day, whether I was feeling high or low, or talking about my experience and the wisdom and what's important about my clients' experiences. But very quickly, I noticed that it was unsustainable. I couldn't continue at this pace. I couldn't continue just doing stuff all the time like that. And so I've been reflecting a lot over the past few weeks on my learnings and what I've learned from the last year. And this is the major learning for me. In order to prevent burnout, in order to prevent the high and low energetically and mood-wise, our practice, our yoga practice and our well-being practices need to be flexible and sustainable. And that can look differently for different people, because we are all individuals. Our lifestyles are different, our obligations and responsibilities are different, our bodies are different, our lifestyles are different, our needs are different. And so I'd like to encourage you at the beginning of this year, rather than setting the goals, really thinking about what's sustainable. If you want to have a regular yoga practice, what's sustainable for you? What would work? It will be different for somebody who's a single professional, who has to travel long distance, an hour, 2 hours to work every morning and back from work, 2 hours. It will be different for a professional who has got, or business owner who works from home and doesn't have kids, or the kids are a bit older, so they don't require so much attention anymore. It will be different for somebody, a man or a woman who has got young kids. It will be different for somebody who has got kids and has to look after an elderly parents who maybe are not so well anymore. So we all have different needs, but we can create a sustainable yoga and well-being practice that will really nourish us and support us and really help us to open and nourish that vitality within us. The vitality that is really connected to who we are and what we want to do and how we want to be and how we want to show up in life. It doesn't have to be big things. You don't have to do the practice for an hour every morning. You don't have physical, very challenging asana practice. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes or even 20 minutes of meditation practice. But it needs to be sustainable and it needs to be regular, preferably daily. Something that will feel like you coming back home and really settling in, really checking in, just like you check in with your loved ones. You know, you go in and ask them, how are you? And you connect and you watch and you observe for the feedback, for the signs, for their body language. If we can learn to do that for ourselves, to take a few moments, whether we're doing it as a somatic practice or mindfulness practice, or whether we're doing it in the yoga asana practice, movement practice, or any other movement practice, then we build that trust, and inner relationship with ourselves. And then, you know we can rely on ourselves. If we feel sad or upset, we can provide support for ourselves. And equally, we can ask of other people, support from other people who we know will support us in a way that we need to be supported. We won't be going looking into people that can't give us the support in the way that we need it. And equally, if you are practicing yoga asana, physical posture practice, you won't be pushing all the time, straining and wanting to go further much quicker than maybe what your body is able to do in this moment. And that means, this is really vital, because as we get older, that means that no matter whether you have got certain injuries, no matter if you, your movement are restricted or you are a bit more unwell, you can still have your own practice. So you can still move in a gentle way, in an embodied way, mindful way, compassionate and kind way. You can still take a moment to check in. Okay, how am I feeling? What's going on for me? What wants my attention right now? Can I give it my attention in a compassionate and kindly way, without judgment, without making myself feel wrong for what I'm feeling, or making my body wrong because I'm in pain or discomfort? So, for example, I was speaking to a lady who came for Thai yoga massage on Friday, and she said to me, she's been doing yoga before, but then she had a knee replacement and she can't do yoga now. And so we were chatting, and I was saying to her, it doesn't matter. Yoga is not just this challenging asana practice. There is also the mindful awareness, there is pranayama, breathing practice, there is somatic practices of being within the body, there is gentle movement. You don't have to kneel on your knees to do yoga. There are different ways of working around it, and all we need is that compassionate, kindly awareness and curiosity. Because when you practice with curiosity, you explore, rather than being focused on that, I want it like this, I want it like this. And so I'd like to invite you to just reflect what's sustainable for you. If you do want to do or start or continue with yoga practices, well-being practices, what's sustainable? What can you commit to without having to completely change your schedule and rearrange your life? What can you add? Before you start taking things out, add one thing that nourishes you. And once that becomes a habit, once that's something that comes naturally, that becomes part of you, then other things rearrange themselves. But when we think about, I need to stop drinking, I need to stop eating this, sugar or dairy, or you start taking things out without bringing anything that nourishes you. And so I hope that makes sense. Have a lovely, lovely week. We are still in the middle of winter. Take care of yourself, keep warm, and I see you soon. Take care. Namaste.